MLBBro.com, covering black and brown major leaguers.
Byron Motley, the son of Bob Motley, who was a 10-year Negro League umpire. Let's talk about the labor of love that it was to get this project to life.
Yeah, well, it was a labor of love. It took basically 24 years for me to get it completed. Started interviewing players back in 1999 at the Negro League Baseball Museum. Buck O'Neill was one of my first interviews. Of course, my father, Bob Motley, was the first day as well. So it was a long process, and but it was a slice of heaven for me. Getting to know these players, some I have been around for my entire life, and learning their stories, talking to them, becoming friends with them, becoming friends with some of their children, their widows, their other family members. It's been an incredible journey for me. And to be able to tell my father's story and help my father tell his own stories so as I got older and I realized the value of what he had done and what these stories meant, not only to him personally, but to me. It's like, oh, I've been affected by these stories. And so it kind of led to one thing after another. And a friend of mine convinced me that he says, you are the person to tell the story. And one thing led to another. And here we are today having this conversation.
It truly is an amazing story. I want to get back to the field for a second and talk about the athleticism that came to the game. Speed, station-to-station baseball, not the home runs, but the speed. And in today's contemporary world, it looks like Major League Baseball trying to get back to that style of play with some of the rules that have been implemented this year. Can you talk about, the style of play that made the Negro Leagues, according to your dad, something that was more than just a baseball experience for the fans?
Yeah, a player would hit a ball, and it would then turn that single into a double into a triple into an inside the park home run. And as my father would say, these guys played for the true great abilities that they could do. They just played hard for keeps. They played hard for keeps. And so for them to do what they did, it was just, they weren't showboating. A lot of Major League players at that time said that the Negro League players were showboating. No, they were just showing what they could do. They weren't trying to show out. They were just showing up and showing out and doing their thing.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, so it was nothing for, like I said, to turn that little single into a double. And they say, no, if you weren't paying attention, they'd be stealing home. So Jackie Robinson started that in the majors by stealing home. It's a great poem by, I forget her name. Anyway, it's a great poem by Nicky Giovanni. It's called Stealing Home. And it's about Jackie stealing home. And that's what he was known for. But he learned how to do that and got that experience from playing in the Negro Leagues.
Let's talk about the Harlem Renaissance for a second in Negro League Baseball. You had these virtuoso players who were giving fans and players an opportunity living through Jim Crow time, quite frankly, something uplifting. Talk about the energy that was created, alongside the entertainment thing that was going on in Harlem and the baseball thing that was playing out on the diamond.
Yeah, it was very similar. It's just that energy that Black folks just know how to give to their music and their partying skills and their baseball skills and everything. So it was pretty much one of the same, and they inspired each other. So it was nothing for after a baseball game that the players would go to somewhere in Harlem or New York or Kansas City where they were playing to hear music and relax themselves and and party a little bit. And the same thing, the fans from the clubs would go to a baseball game in the afternoon, go home, rest up a little bit, then go out and party at night with music. So those two elements came together. Baseball and music really, really were of one accord. Even the old group, the four brothers, the Mills brothers, the Mills brothers, yeah, they would travel on the bus with the teams. They would go from town to town and save money for the traveling. They could travel with the players and have their show at night. And the players would come see them, and we get on the bus.
For more, right now, go to MLBBro.com.